Lesson 3.5, showing lines are parallel. So let's look at the two lines below. Are they parallel? Why do you think so, or why do you think not? You can pause the recording and make your own guess if you'd like. Well, we don't have our little arrows on them here, so we don't know. But we do know if the lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. And what we have here is corresponding angles are congruent. Those are corresponding. So the question is, if corresponding angles are congruent, then are the lines parallel? Well, let's back up before we answer the question. What's converse? Converse is very simple. We have a statement, if P, then Q. Converse, if Q, then P. In other words, turn it around, like we just said up here. If corresponding angles congruent, then parallel lines. Question mark. We haven't gotten there yet. So write down a conditional, any if-then statement. If it is a weekday, then we are at school. Converse. If we are at school, then it is a weekday. Now, at this point, students always say, well, wait a minute, is that true, not true? I haven't said anything about truth. I haven't talked about truth. Truth or true or false or whatever. We can, and we will say, if it is a weekday, then we are at school. And that would be false. Anytime there's any counterexample, for example, during the summer, there's lots of weekdays and we're not at school. So that's false. However, if we're at school, it has to be a weekday. Now, we could be coming to school on the weekend for some reasons, but generally speaking, school is in session only during weekdays. There's no mandatory have to show up and go to classes school for elementary or high school kids that happens on a Saturday, Sunday, at least not to my knowledge. So this would be true. And again, I have students at this point who would get confused and say, oh, wait a minute. This means that if one's false, the other's true. Well, no, there's nothing that says one's true and the one's false. Look at each statement individually. Converses just mean they're inside out. So back up top, is it true that if we have the converses, the corresponding angles congruent, then we have parallel lines? And we can say yes. All the things we proved about parallel lines and their angles, the converses are true. So what were the four different things found out about parallel lines? Corresponding angles, that means angle, are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. And finally, same side interior angles are congruent. Angle Oof, boy, this is terrible. This angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 3, measure of angle 3. Oh, goodness gracious. Need to put more thought into these things. Are supplementary. Measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 5 equals 180. Let me go back over, make sure I didn't mess any of these up. Angle 1 and angle 2 are definitely corresponding. Angle 3 and angle 4 are also corresponding. Angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent, they're alternate interior angles. Angle 1 and angle 4 are alternate exterior angles, and they're congruent. Angle 3 and angle 5 add up to 180, and they are supplementary. Whew. Hope somebody was screaming at the computer screen for that one. So, here's an exercise. Are the following lines parallel? Yes or no? If so, why? Pause the recording and try yourself. Now I'll do them. Yes. Alternate exterior angles. No. These are just vertical angles. We don't know about this line down here. This one I have to do the math. It's yes. Same side interior angles. They add up to 180. Another exercise. Pause the recording and try it after I finish talking. These are going to be parallel. You have to find the variable values so that they are parallel. So write an equation, solve, and then double check. Now I'll do it. 2x equals x plus 20. X equals 20. 2 times 20 equals 40. 20 plus 20 equals 40. Good. 5y minus 12 equals 3y. 2y equals 12. Y equals 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 times 6 is 30 minus 12 is 18. Works. And here we have a slightly more busy equation. 4x plus 15 plus 2x minus 21 equals 180. 6x minus 6 equals 180. Six x equals 186. X equals 31. 4 times 31 is 124. Plus 15. 139 if I'm not mistaken. 2 times 31 is 62 minus 21 is 41. They are supplementary. Looks like we did it right. Lots of math, but the general concepts aren't that hard. You do need to remember them, though. Cannot come out and just kind of derive them. They are something you have to stick in your brain before you start. Good luck.